Everyone coming in the building, make sure you smash that like button. Shout out to the lounge, beautiful, first in the building. Oh my God. And people are going to wonder, why am I crying for? If all of these people, these big people coming out exposing Donald Trump and the Epstein files, this is definitely going to mess up for the $2,000 stimulus checks. Oh my God. Oh my God. There is no hope. Everybody, I don't think that we're going to get them checks because what Barack Obama says, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I never got into the Epstein files. And now I understand why Donald Trump and Donald Trump's clip-on toupee don't want this to get out there. Now, like I said, I'm going to give y'all time to come in the building. When you get to talking about the Epstein files, YouTube will take their time to let the people come in the building. Because you ain't supposed to be talking about this. But white America, they talk about it. So you might as well let me go ahead and react during survival. Shout out to Cozy Gango official in the building during survival. Lotta in the building. You know what? I'm trying not to worry. But I know that speaking upon the Epstein files, Pure Survival couldn't get you banned from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And salute back to you. But I can't believe Barack Obama came out and exposed all of this. This is crazy, guys. Now I see, guys, I understand, I see why Donald Trump and Donald Trump's clip-on toupee do not wants it to be distractions. Him and this man, from what it sound like. Now, I don't know, guys, if Donald Trump and Epstein had an affair, like if they were clapping each other's cheeks. But from what Barack Obama is saying, I'm gonna let y'all put it together. But these are some deep, dark secrets, man. This is crazy. I don't know. I don't know.
Look, we've all seen those photos. Trump and Epstein. We've heard the excuses, the pivots, the explanations. And for a long time, I think most of us thought we understood what that relationship was about.
Y'all see that? We thought with the relationship between Epstein and Donald Trump, what was it about? But the way what Barack Obama is saying, Pure Survival, he's making me think that Donald Trump and Epstein had an affair. Shout out to Bronzo in the building. But he making it sound like, y'all tell me if it sound like Donald and Epstein was clapping each other's cheeks.
Look, we've all seen those photos. Trump and Epstein. We've heard the excuses, the pivots, the explanations. And for a long time, I think most of us thought we understood what that relationship was about. But I need you to hear me on this. There's something new, something that's been sitting just beneath the surface of all our daily chaos.
Wow.
And it changes everything. Most people don't even know this exists yet. When I first saw it, I'll be honest with you, it shook me. Not just as someone who's held this office, but as a father, as an American. I don't throw the word terrifying around lightly.
Wow. Barack Obama is saying that whatever he saw on these alleged Epstein files, pure survival, that is terrifying. It is horrifying. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I don't know if it was Donald's cheeks in the air or if it was Epstein's cheeks in the air. Pure survival. I don't know, but this sounds crazy as hell.
Not just as someone who's held this office, but as a father, as an American. I don't throw the word terrifying around lightly. But if we don't pay attention now, we're walking away from the very idea of what this country is supposed to stand for. So, what are we talking about? Here's the thing. We live in a world where everything feels like breaking news. When every headline screams at you, it becomes almost impossible to know what actually matters. We get bombarded with scandals and tweets and outrages. And somewhere in all that noise, the real story slips past us. That's what happened here. This isn't one bombshell that dropped yesterday.
Wow.
It's three separate pieces.
It's three separate pieces. This is three separate pieces. It's not just one bombshell. Y'all got to get them likes up, guys. Everybody coming in the building. Pure survival. I'm not trying to hear no AI shit. It's all going with his lips during survival. All the times we listen to Donald dissing Barack Obama in every one of his motherfucking speeches, pure survival. So why wouldn't Obama clap back for once? Why wouldn't Obama clap back when Donald Trump and Donald Trump's clip-on toupee constantly going after Obama? Donald Trump said that he wanted Obama to get indicted during survival. So why wouldn't you believe that Obama is exposing his deep, dark secrets?
That noise, the real story slips past us. That's what happened here. This isn't one bombshell that dropped yesterday. It's three separate pieces that have surfaced over the last few months. Individually, you might brush them off. But when you step back and look at them together, that's when the pattern becomes clear. And it's deeply disturbing.
Wow.
First thread. A few months ago, the House Oversight Committee released a document that should have made national headlines. It was a page from Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book, 2003. Not just any greeting card, this was a collection of messages from powerful people in his circle. On one page, there's a crude sketch of a woman and a typed note, apparently signed by Donald Trump. The note doesn't just say happy birthday. It talks about their enigmas.
Wow. It talks about their enigmas. It's a birthday card. Donald Trump allegedly, with Obama saying, had a freak off birthday card that he sent to Jeffrey Epstein. Pure the Bible. This is crazy the motherfucker, guys. I'm telling you, I don't know if they used to go together, if Donald and Epstein was going steady. This shit does not sound, this shit sound crazy, guys. Get them likes up.
Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book, 2003. Not just any greeting card, this was a collection of messages from powerful people in his circle. On one page, there's a crude sketch of a woman and a typed note, apparently signed by Donald Trump. The note doesn't just say happy birthday. It talks about their enigmas.
Wow.
Strange word for two grown men to use.
Wow. A strange word for two grown men to use. They're enigmas. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that Barack is trying to say that Epstein and Donald Trump was clapping each other's cheeks. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all think he's saying something else. Why is it sounding like he is exposing them to having an affair? This is crazy, guys.
A few months ago, the House Oversight Committee released a document that should have made national headlines. It was a page from Jeffrey Epstein's birthday book, 2003. Not just any greeting card, this was a collection of messages from powerful people in his circle. On one page, there's a crude sketch of a woman and a typed note, apparently signed by Donald Trump. The note doesn't just say happy birthday. It talks about their enigmas. Strange word for two grown men to use.
Wow.
And then it ends with this line: may every day be another wonderful secret.
Wow. May every day be a wonderful secret. Barack Obama is saying that Donald Trump sent a love letter, a birthday love letter to Epstein saying, may every day be a wonderful freak off secret. This is crazy, guys. This is why they've been making this big deal of this Epstein file. Y'all got to get them likes up, man. This is crazy.
Page, there's a crude sketch of a woman in a typed note, apparently signed by Donald Trump. The note doesn't just say happy birthday. It talks about their enigmas, strange word for two grown men to use. And then it ends with this line, may every day be another wonderful secret. Think about that word, secret.
Wow.
In the context of what we now know Epstein was running, that's not just a casual birthday wish, that's code. Now, the president denies it, says it's not his signature, not his words. But physical evidence like that suggests a level of closeness, a shared understanding of things.
Wow. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that it was Donald's signature. Put a 2 in the chat if Barack is lying. Donald Trump's toupee is saying that it wasn't his signature. I've never signed that during survival. I've never signed that. Yo, this is crazy.
The president denies it, says it's not his signature, not his words. But physical evidence like that suggests a level of closeness, a shared understanding of things kept hidden that goes way beyond just running into each other at parties in Palm Beach. Second thread. While people were debating that note, something far more serious was happening at the Justice Department. The DOJ is supposed to be independent. It belongs to the American people, not the president. But while everyone was distracted, the Trump DOJ quietly shut down the federal investigation into Epstein's co-conspirators.
Wow.
After years of promising victims they'd get to the bottom of this network, they issued a memo in July saying they found no credible evidence of a wider client list. Case closed. But just last week, we learned from frustrated members of Congress that this investigation didn't naturally end. It was killed.
Wow. And this is my thing, right? Everybody is all of a sudden, AI went so crazy that everybody think even if the person talking out their own motherfucking mouth, pure survival, it has to be an AI. But Donald Trump can talk bad about Barack every goddamn time he go out and speak, but nobody ever says it's an AI. Pure survival. You know it's Donald. Donald asked for this man to get indicted. So why wouldn't you talk bad about somebody that's talking bad about you? Pure survival. Everything he's saying is coming out of his mouth. God damn it. This ain't the Tupac AI. This is real Barack Obama speaking. And here's my thing. If it's an AI, why is it saying what it's saying? If you try to tell me Barack is an alien right now, pure survival, why is he exposing these things? If it ain't no truth to it. That's what y'all gotta look at the message. I told y'all that. Smash that like button.
After years of promising victims they'd get to the bottom of this network, they issued a memo in July saying they found no credible evidence of a wider client list. Case closed. But just last week, we learned from frustrated members of Congress that this investigation didn't naturally end. It was killed.
Damn.
Prosecutors in New York had active leads on at least 20 other individuals connected to that trafficking ring. Real leads, real chances for justice. But the case was pulled from them, moved to D.C., and buried.
Wow.
You have to ask yourself, who benefits when an investigation like that suddenly goes dark?
Wow. Who benefits? Put a 1 in the chat. When they bury these Epstein files, who benefits? Somebody tell me that. Pure survival. Like he said, they took it down to D.C., got rid of the motherfucker, kicked it like a soccer ball, pure survival. Why is it such a big deal over these Epstein files for? If it ain't nothing going on. Y'all got to get them likes up, guys. There's 1,100 people. We should have 1,100 likes in here if y'all want to get to the bottom of what's happening in America.
Evidence of a wider client list. Case closed. But just last week, we learned from frustrated members of Congress that this investigation didn't naturally end. It was killed. Prosecutors in New York had active leads on at least 20 other individuals connected to that trafficking ring. Real leads, real chances for justice. But the case was pulled from them, moved to D.C., and buried. You have to ask yourself, who benefits when an investigation like that suddenly goes dark? Third thread. This one just surfaced. Whistleblowers are now saying that Ghislaine Maxwell is getting special treatment in prison. She's the one person left who knows everything.
Wow, is Ghislaine Maxwell getting special treatment in prison? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if Ghislaine Maxwell is not getting special treatment in prison. Because I heard, allegedly, she was getting treated special. Pills of Bible. Didn't she just ask for a pardon? You know what I'm saying? How, if this is an AI, it's saying shit that's really going on? That's what I'm saying to y'all. We got to get them likes up to 1,000, guys. This is wild.
Real chances for justice. But the case was pulled from them, moved to D.C., and buried. You have to ask yourself who benefits when an investigation like that suddenly goes dark. Third thread. This one just surfaced. Whistleblowers are now saying that Ghislaine Maxwell is getting special treatment in prison. She's the one person left who knows everything. And here's what's alarming. She's reportedly preparing an application for a commutation from the Trump administration.
Wow.
Now step back. Look at the whole picture. A note implying shared secrets. An administration actively shutting down the investigation into those secrets. And the one person who holds all the answers positioning herself for a presidential pardon. That's what just surfaced.
Wow. Do y'all hear that? That don't make sense to y'all? The one person that allegedly knows all about whatever this Epstein shit is, Pierce Bible, because y'all know it's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? She is looking to get a pardon. Yo, come on now. And then Diddy Glover is supposed to get a pardon in January by Donald Trump. Anybody that got secrets are getting let out. Come on, man. Y'all got to really put it together during survival. Y'all can't keep thinking like, you know what I'm saying? We got 1,300 people. Let's get 1,300 likes. And if you want to hit my PayPal is tagged right there.
Mutation from the Trump administration. Now step back. Look at the whole picture. A note implying shared secrets. An administration actively shutting down the investigation into those secrets. And the one person who holds all the answers positioning herself for a presidential pardon. That's what just surfaced. This isn't some conspiracy theory from the internet. This is a clear, observable sequence of events pointing to one conclusion. There's an active effort to make sure the truth never comes out.
Do y'all get that? Like he said, this is not just no internet stuff. There is something going on where they don't want this coming out. So I don't care what y'all say about what Obama's saying, Pure Survival. I don't care if y'all say that this is an alien from Jupiter. Why is this Barack Obama alien saying what he's saying and it's all going on right now during survival? And all y'all can say is, oh, this isn't real. Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? That's because y'all probably on the files. Some of y'all in the chat, anybody that say AI, you're on the Epstein files. Pure Survival. It's going to come out.
This is a clear, observable sequence of events pointing to one conclusion. There's an active effort to make sure the truth never comes out. I know what some of you are thinking. Come on, Barack. This is just how the world works. Rich, powerful people have always covered for each other. Wow. They hire lawyers. They pull strings. Why is this different?
Wow. Rich, powerful people always look out for themselves. Pure Survival. They can do the same shit that we can do, Pure Survival, but they'll never do the time that we would have to do, Pure Survival. They'll never have to go through poverty, portums, none of this shit. And I'm telling you, Donald is not going to end up giving them $2,000 stimulus checks if these people keep coming out exposing him during survival. We had MAGA people out there burning hats, everything last night. This is getting wild. This is getting wild.
There's an active effort to make sure the truth never comes out. I know what some of you are thinking. Come on, Barack. This is just how the world works. Rich, powerful people have always covered for each other. They hire lawyers. They pull strings. Why is this different? Let me be clear, that's a fair question. I understand the cynicism. We've all seen how justice can bend when money and power are involved.
Wow.
But what we're talking about here, that second thread, the DOJ shutting down its own investigation, that's different. This is different. This isn't just rich and powerful men doing what they've always done. When I stood there and took that oath, I promised to defend the Constitution.
Wow.
And you know what sits at the very center of that document? One idea: the rule of law applies to everyone. The Department of Justice exists to protect that idea. It's the wall between government power and your freedom. When I was in office, I had one ironclad rule with Eric Holder, with Loretta Lynch: you never, ever cross that line. The White House doesn't tell justice who to investigate or who to let off the hook. The second a president treats the DOJ like his personal legal team, protecting friends and punishing enemies, that's when we've lost what makes us a democracy.
Wow. Helping out friends in power, but punishing the enemy. Punishing the enemy. We can do what we want, and then y'all can't do a motherfucking thing. Y'all telling me this is not making no kind of sense to y'all, Pure Survival? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. 2,300 people in the building. Everybody, 2,500 people watching. We should have 2,500 likes in the building. Obama is letting it all out. He's letting his gray hair down. Y'all got to smash that like button.
Law applies to everyone. The Department of Justice exists to protect that idea. It's the wall between government power and your freedom. When I was in office, I had one ironclad rule with Eric Holder, with Loretta Lynch: you never, ever cross that line. The White House doesn't tell justice who to investigate or who to let off the hook. The second a president treats the DOJ like his personal legal team, protecting friends and punishing enemies, that's when we've lost what makes us a democracy. Now, shutting down an investigation this big doesn't happen by accident. The Southern District of New York, some of the best prosecutors in the country, were working this case hard. They'd spoken to 50 survivors, brave women who came forward and named 20 other men in that network.
Wow. Smash that like button for the brave women, guys. For all the brave women that stood up, that allegedly have something done to them, you know what I mean? And they stood up and spoke to the people. They weren't afraid. You know what I'm saying? You got to give it up for the women. Yes, everybody smash that like button for the women, man. The survivors of Epstein. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know Donald, Pure Survival. I'm just listening to what Barack Obama is saying, and it's crazy. Shout out to the survivors.
And punishing enemies, that's when we've lost what makes us a democracy. Now, shutting down an investigation this big doesn't happen by accident. The Southern District of New York, some of the best prosecutors in the country, were working this case hard. They'd spoken to 50 survivors, brave women who came forward and named 20 other men in that network.
Wow.
Then in January, the case got yanked, pulled from New York and sent to Washington, where political appointees could control it. Radio silence for months.
Wow.
Then in July, a memo. No credible evidence. Translation: those 50 women were lying. They didn't just close it, they buried it.
Wow.
That takes orders from the top.
Wow, that is just sad. 50 women wasn't telling the truth. They just closed their case. They just hid it. Man, this is why this foul stuff is so deep. This is why it's so deep.
No credible evidence. Translation: those 50 women were lying. They didn't just close it, they buried it. That takes orders from the top. That's choosing to protect powerful people over seeking justice.
Wow.
And they're using the full weight of the federal government, your government, to keep those wonderful secrets buried forever. This machine's been built over years, firing watchdogs, attacking judges, installing loyalists. Now it's being used to erase the truth completely. Here's where it gets worse. Ghislaine Maxwell is the only one left who knows everything. When Epstein died, powerful people thought they were safe.
Wow.
But she was there for all of it. She built the whole operation. Every name, every location, every detail.
Wow. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all think they're going to try to take Ghislaine out. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't think so. Because I'm surprised that she's still here and she's the last one with the Victoria's Secrets. Pure Survival. Everybody smash that like button. It's 2,500 people watching me during Survival. If y'all give a damn about these secrets, these things that's going on with these powerful motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? We got 2,800 people. There should be 2,800 motherfuckers hitting that like button. This is crazy.
Now it's being used to erase the truth completely. Here's where it gets worse. Ghislaine Maxwell is the only one left who knows everything. When Epstein died, powerful people thought they were safe.
Wow.
But she was there for all of it. She built the whole operation. Every name, every location, every detail. And now, reports say she's getting special treatment in prison. Not the harsh reality most inmates face: privileges, protection, comfort. Why? Because she's got leverage. And here's what should terrify you. She's apparently preparing for a commutation. Not a pardon, just early release. If Trump actually frees the woman who trafficked girls to his circle, that's the deal made plain.
Wow. If he gives a pardon, it's 3,000 people in the building, guys. All jokes aside, I need everybody to smash that like button. This is very heartfelt. Do you understand that all of these women can't get no justice? If this woman gets pardoned and she was helping out motherfucking Epstein do all this nasty shit, pills of Bible, she's getting treated so special in jail. We got 3,600 people in the building. Let's get 1,000 likes. This is heart-wrenching. This is heart-wrenching.
Every location, every detail. And now, reports say she's getting special treatment in prison. Not the harsh reality most inmates face: privileges, protection, comfort. Why? Because she's got leverage. And here's what should terrify you. She's apparently preparing for a commutation.
Wow.
Not a pardon, just early release. If Trump actually frees the woman who trafficked girls to his circle, that's the deal made plain. Silence bought with presidential power. Think about those survivors. Decades of fear and being ignored. Finally, one abuser faced justice. Then they watched the president open her cell door so she never talks.
Wow.
That's not just corrupt, it's corruption announced to the world. Betting we're too exhausted or cynical to fight back. We don't have the option to check out now, because here's the truth. If Maxwell gets released with everything she knows still locked away, we'll never understand just how rotten things got at the top. She's the final thread connecting all of this, and right now, they're cutting it in plain sight.
Now, do you see this? If Ghislaine Maxwell get released, we never gonna know all the secrets and done. I don't know if this is true or not, President Obama, but I give a damn about the victims. Y'all gotta smash that like button, guys. This is crazy. We got 3,500 people in the building. I don't want this woman to get out of jail. If she was doing this shit to the victims, President Obama, she needs to stay in jail.
Betting we're too exhausted or cynical to fight back. We don't have the option to check out now, because here's the truth. If Maxwell gets released with everything she knows still locked away, we'll never understand just how rotten things got at the top. She's the final thread connecting all of this, and right now, they're cutting it in plain sight. Hold on, I need to zoom out here. All this talk about hidden messages, buried cases, and potential pardons for traffickers, it can feel surreal, like watching fiction unfold somewhere far from your everyday reality. That distance, that's the whole point. That's what they're banking on. This isn't random. The constant barrage of controversy isn't accidental overflow, it's calculated. There's an old tactic called flooding the zone. Here's how it works. One major violation becomes headline news for weeks, but 100 violations before lunch, nobody can track them all. Your anger gets spread too thin, exhaustion sets in, you disconnect just to protect yourself. That's when democracy is most vulnerable, the moment outrageous becomes ordinary.
Wow.
Consider what this pattern does to our collective spirit. It plants deep distrust. You begin thinking everybody's crooked. Truth doesn't exist.
Wow. And that's what makes you think that. That's what makes you think that. This is why I don't trust the right or the left. Pure Bible. I think they all crooked. I think that they all crooked. None of them is straight. You know what I'm saying? Because how can you have these secrets, and it's just heart-wrenching, guys. It's just very heart-wrenching.
Consider what this pattern does to our collective spirit. It plants deep distrust. You begin thinking everybody's crooked. Truth doesn't exist. The entire apparatus is broken, so why fight it? I've listened to countless Americans, hardworking people, focused on their families, tell me the same thing. What difference does it make, Barack? The powerful always escape accountability. When
Wow.
justice itself becomes a switch the president flips to shield his allies, that distrust stops being paranoia. It becomes clear-eyed observation. But listen, we can't surrender to that mindset. We don't get to be cynical, because accepting this reality, shrugging off a president, potentially freeing a trafficking accomplice to guarantee silence that's not just excusing one individual, it's permanently lowering expectations for every leader that follows.
Wow. So freeing a potential trafficker just so you can bury your skeleton bones. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. Like I said, I don't know if he telling the truth or not, pure survival, but Barack has a reason to lash out like this. To lash out like this. Y'all didn't see how gray Barack Obama hair turned as soon as he became president? Pure survival. His hair turned gray faster than Diddy Glover when Diddy Glover got locked up. Pure survival. That's how much stress and anxiety he's been dealing with holding on to these secrets.
Trafficking accomplice to guarantee silence that's not just excusing one individual, it's permanently lowering expectations for every leader that follows. We're teaching the next generation that sufficient wealth and audacity place you above accountability. We're dismantling what separates America from the dictatorships I confronted internationally. In those places, citizens understand corruption is baked in. Justice means whatever serves power. We claimed higher ground. Sure, we've fallen short, our history proves that. But America's guiding principle, the light that's pulled us through crisis after crisis, is this: laws govern us, not personalities.
Wow.
What's unfolding with Trump, Epstein, Maxwell, and justice represents a head-on attack against that principle. Their wager, you're too drained to resist. Their calculation, keep amplifying the chaos until you surrender and let them operate unchecked. We prove them mistaken. We establish that certain boundaries demand consequences, because failing to hold the line here means the next boundary will be even worse. So what's our position right now, in this moment?
Wow, what is our position? What is our position? Is our position is to complain and try to say that this is the clone Barack during survival? Or are we paying attention to the message? I'm paying attention to the message.
Boundaries demand consequences, because failing to hold the line here means the next boundary will be even worse. So what's our position right now, in this moment? We're standing at what I call a crossroads. Those critical junctures where our choices or our silence shape what comes next for decades. Staying focused is difficult, I know. Most people watching have immediate concerns: making rent, getting children fed and educated, job security, rising costs. You're probably thinking, I'm dealing with actual struggles here. Why dedicate limited energy to some wealthy people's decades-old crimes?
Wow.
I hear you. I truly understand. But recognize this: we're not debating ancient history. We're determining what kind of country those children inherit. Because permitting this, letting any president weaponize government machinery to conceal his own misconduct, offering freedom to conspirators who stay silent, means declaring accountability optional. It means announcing that sufficient power lets you erase your past and dictate your future,
Wow.
regardless of who suffers.
Wow. So you get to erase your past, you know what I'm saying? Regardless who suffer, regardless who couldn't get their food stamps turned back on, regardless if the people had to wait until they figure out who was going to be in power and who was not going to be in power. Pure survival. It's 2,900 people in here. It should be 1,000 likes. That's all I got to say.
Inherit. Because permitting this, letting any president weaponize government machinery to conceal his own misconduct, offering freedom to conspirators who stay silent, means declaring accountability optional. It means announcing that sufficient power lets you erase your past and dictate your future, regardless of who suffers. Think about what precedent that creates. Some actions can't be undone. Once you signal this conduct won't trigger consequences, or at least won't trigger consequences severe enough to matter, you've opened a pathway every future authoritarian will exploit. You've written their instruction manual. Your message reads: seize control however necessary, reward loyalty, destroy opposition. Citizens are too overwhelmed to intervene. That cannot define our generation's contribution. We're the firewall here. Our institutions, courts, justice, Congress derive their strength entirely from public insistence they function properly. When citizens fall silent, institutions collapse. It's really that straightforward. Right now, the quiet is telling.
Wow.
And during this quiet, the protection machine runs at full speed.
The protection machine. So he's saying that people are being protected in power. I'm not saying that Donald's guilty. I'm not saying that his toupee is guilty. Pure survival. This is what Bo Rock is saying. Smash that like button, guys.
Strategy. Your divided attention is their ally. They're confident that waiting just a bit longer means escaping accountability forever. The choice is ours, right here, today. Will we hand them this victory? Because Maxwell walking free, those records permanently locked, those wonderful secrets staying hidden, that's not just Trump getting away with something. It's justice itself suffering irreversible damage in America.
Wow.
So here's the central question, the one I'm certain you're asking, the one that haunts me. If these connections are this obvious, where are the headlines? Why isn't every news outlet leading with this story? The title of this video says, most people don't realize what just surfaced. But why not? The answer reveals one of the most cynical political manipulations I've witnessed. It's a nationwide shell game. Understanding it requires understanding today's media landscape. During my time in office, press coverage was tough. Daily stories I disagreed with. But we shared a common factual foundation. That foundation's gone. We now inhabit separate information universes. And the Trump administration didn't just recognize this, they turned it into a weapon. Track this backwards. During the 2024 campaign and early this year, what did they promise their most devoted followers? Exposing the deep state. Their ultimate prize? The Epstein client list. They stoked conspiracy thinking.
Wow. So put a 1 in the chat if y'all think that it's really still an Epstein file, that y'all think that it's something in that file. Put a 2 in the chat if y'all don't think it's a such thing as an Epstein file. Why did they keep talking about this if this wasn't real during survival? Smash that like button, guys. It's over 3,000 people, guys. We should have 1,000 likes in the building. It's something behind this Epstein stuff. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? They have been talking about it like crazy.
The Trump administration didn't just recognize this, they turned it into a weapon. Track this backwards. During the 2024 campaign and early this year, what did they promise their most devoted followers? Exposing the deep state. Their ultimate prize? The Epstein client list. They stoked conspiracy thinking, positioned themselves as outsiders, finally revealing truths that establishment figures like me supposedly concealed. Attorney General Pam Bondi went on television in February claiming an Epstein client list was sitting on my desk right now to review. Consider that move. They channeled their supporters' legitimate fury at elite corruption and amplified it, built expectations for explosive revelations, then silence. July arrives. The DOJ releases a memo. Sorry, no client list exists, no blackmail evidence, nothing more to share. So they couldn't find it? No. Congressional letters now reveal that while the political operation promised supporters a fantasy client list, New York prosecutors were pursuing an actual investigation. Nearly 50 survivors. Hard evidence. At least 20 identifiable co-conspirators. Here's the sinister pivot. That real investigation apparently got dangerously close to people they needed to protect.
Wow, dangerously close to the people they had to protect. Did you hear all of the co-conspirators? And Diddy Glover allegedly had tapes and stuff like that, right? Ain't that why they locked Diddy Glover up? And then we found out we didn't see the tapes with no kids. We didn't see none of that type of shit. Pure survival. Did Diddy Glover have another freak-off dungeon hidden? You know what I'm saying? And then Donald about to pardon Diddy? Yo, man, this shit is mysterious, guys. Let's get them likes up, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Smash that like button. Share this video. This is wild.
List, New York prosecutors were pursuing an actual investigation. Nearly 50 survivors. Hard evidence. At least 20 identifiable co-conspirators. Here's the sinister pivot. That real investigation apparently got dangerously close to people they needed to protect. Those wonderful secrets faced exposure. So they terminated it. But how do you justify killing an investigation you promised to champion? You can't openly admit protecting allies. Enter the shell game. You take the imaginary client list you invented and declare it non-existent. You blur the lines. You announce, we searched thoroughly, nothing's there. This provides cover to quietly smother the genuine New York investigation that was actually progressing. The most cynical element? When their devoted supporters, the ones they'd deceived for months, felt betrayed and demanded the promised files, the president attacked them, called them weaklings, labeled them stupid and fools for believing what he now termed a Democrat hoax, a hoax that he and Bondi themselves manufactured. This explains why most people remain unaware. The administration has clouded everything so thoroughly that reality becomes indistinguishable from fiction. Half the country hears hoax. The other half, drowning in daily scandals, miss the DOJ memo's significance. It's expert-level misdirection, using conspiracy theories to conceal actual conspiracy, weaponizing supporters' distrust of elites to execute a cover-up protecting the most corrupt among those elites.
Wow.
And so far, it succeeded. Now I'm asking something challenging. Take a moment and genuinely absorb what we've covered. Because if this is accurate and the timeline, documents, and whistleblowers confirm it is, we need to reconsider that initial evidence with new understanding. That birthday note from 2003, the one mentioning enigmas and wonderful secrets. When it first emerged, dismissing it felt reasonable. It's strange, sure, but possibly just an inside joke. Maybe nothing illegal. In ordinary circumstances, giving benefit of the doubt makes sense, but these aren't ordinary circumstances. We need to examine that note through the filter of everything that followed. Ask yourself, if that note meant nothing, if those secrets were just two wealthy guys joking around, why demolish Justice Department investigations to hide them?
Do you hear that? So if it was just two rich guys having making freak off jokes, pure survival, why did they have to allegedly hide these Victoria's secrets? Why is this such a big deal? You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know who the fuck Epstein was, pure survival. I'm just hearing about this man. This is wild.
The doubt makes sense, but these aren't ordinary circumstances. We need to examine that note through the filter of everything that followed. Ask yourself, if that note meant nothing, if those secrets were just two wealthy guys joking around, why demolish Justice Department investigations to hide them? Why seize an active trafficking case from New York's most formidable prosecutors, relocate it to Washington, and kill it there? Why stake your entire political reputation on potentially freeing Maxwell? Innocent people don't behave this way. Innocent people say, open every file, interview anyone. I've got nothing to fear.
Wow.
When someone goes to such extreme, frantic measures to halt an investigation, it's because they know precisely what that investigation would uncover. You're not concealing a private joke. You're hiding something that would destroy your career, possibly your freedom, if exposed. This is the reality many of us resist confronting, because acknowledging it means accepting that the president might genuinely be compromised by his history with a notorious sex trafficker. And that means questioning every choice he makes, every appointment, every pardon, every policy. Is this serving Americans, or is this keeping those wonderful secrets buried one more day?
And like I said, if this is not true, like I don't know if it's true or not, but and y'all want to say AI, why would they create something like this and have this saying the things that the alien Barack Obama is saying right now? If this is not really him, pure survival, it's some weird shit going on in power.
That the president might genuinely be compromised by his history with a notorious sex trafficker. And that means questioning every choice he makes, every appointment, every pardon, every policy. Is this serving Americans, or is this keeping those wonderful secrets buried one more day? We can't stay naive. The cover-up itself is the admission. Killing the investigation reveals exactly what it contained. We need to stop pretending otherwise. So let's accept what the evidence shows. The cover-up is real. The justice system was paralyzed to shield the president and his circle. Now, the critical question. What does having a compromised president mean for America? What does it mean when the commander-in-chief operates not from national interest, but from personal terror? I can speak from 8 years in the Oval Office. That job is the loneliest, hardest position imaginable. Every day presents impossible choices. You're weighing service members' lives against terrorist intelligence, negotiating trade agreements affecting millions of jobs, facing leaders from Russia, China, worldwide, who constantly test your resolve. All you have is your judgment and absolute conviction you're serving the American people who elected you. The pressure is almost incomprehensible, even without your own wonderful secrets looming overhead. Now imagine making identical decisions with a metaphorical gun pressed to your temple. That's what blackmail does. That's what the Russians call compromat, a control mechanism. If the president fears what his own Justice Department might discover, what do hostile intelligence agencies already possess? Do we genuinely believe the only incriminating materials, flight logs, recordings, secrets were in Epstein's possession? That our adversaries are doing nothing with this information? Obviously not. So
Wow,
what occurs when
obviously not. And it's so crazy when you got dummies that come in here and and say stupid shit like, "Why are you watching this, motherfucker? You watching too? Pure survival." You dummy.
department might discover, what do hostile intelligence agencies already possess? Do we genuinely believe the only incriminating materials, flight logs, recordings, secrets were in Epstein's possession? That our adversaries are doing nothing with this information? Obviously not. So what occurs when the president enters negotiations with Putin or Xi Jinping? Is he securing better trade terms for American workers or bargaining for their silence? Is he withdrawing troops or ignoring red lines because it sounds strategy or because he's receiving quiet threats that non-compliance means leaked evidence? Suddenly every foreign policy move becomes questionable. Every appointment, treaty, pardon operates under suspicion. You no longer have a commander-in-chief. You have a presidency held hostage. And our entire national security is hostage with it. But the damage doesn't stop at our borders. It corrupts institutions from within. It creates what I'd call cascading corruption. When everyone in the administration, from cabinet secretaries to junior staff, observes that the primary qualification isn't competence or integrity or public service, but unwavering loyalty to one individual, everything transforms. It builds a shadow system where the Attorney General's actual role isn't enforcing law, it's shielding the president from it.
Wow.
The press secretary's real job isn't informing citizens, it's deceiving them. This is institutional decay. Good, dedicated, patriotic public servants, I worked with thousands across both parties, cannot operate under these conditions. They're forced out or resign in frustration. They're replaced by people whose sole qualification is willingness to comply, to participate in the cover-up. This is exactly what we're witnessing. Prison officials reportedly granting special privileges to a convicted trafficker. DOJ political appointees willing to terminate investigations into 20 co-conspirators.
Wow, man, this is just so deep, guys. This is so deep. You know what I'm saying? And we've been having thousands and thousands of people coming in here watching this shit, regardless if they say, hey, it's thousands of motherfuckers that's still watching it. But the whole point is you gotta listen to the message. That's what I'm listening to. I'm listening to what he fucking saying, regardless of what it is, pure survival. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that they ain't been talking about these secrets and this Epstein shit all this long ass time. It has to be something with this. You know what I'm saying? Something.
Entire apparatus reorients itself. It stops serving you, the American people. It starts serving one desperate objective, protecting one individual's secrets. So when you feel the system's broken, when you sense there are separate rules for you versus the powerful, you're not imagining it.
Look, somebody just said MAGA don't listen to what's being said. Oh, hell no. They're like, fuck that. If it's anything saying shit like this, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm not on any side. I'm in the middle. But I know this with them. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that shit, they be like, hell no, I don't care what he's saying. If it's the real him, if it's the AI him, it don't matter what he's saying. I'm listening to what's being said.
One individual's secrets. So when you feel the system's broken, when you sense there are separate rules for you versus the powerful, you're not imagining it. You're witnessing this corruption unfold in real time. This goes beyond a classroom lesson about democracy. This represents exactly the kind of public trust violation our founders most dreaded. I've always maintained that holding the presidency doesn't transform you, it exposes who you truly are. It's a refining fire. Every pretense, every calculated image, every facade you've maintained, they all burn away under constant pressure and round-the-clock examination. You're surrounded by history, Lincoln wrestling with impossible decisions in those same rooms, FDR broadcasting hope down that hallway. You understand your words can trigger conflicts or forge peace, inspire children or crash markets. That awareness demands humility.
Wow.
It must. It reminds you daily this isn't about you, not your pride, your comfort, your personal connections. It's about the American people. So watching this sequence of events, I'm not just troubled as a citizen. I'm deeply heartbroken as someone who's occupied that chair.
And he's deeply heartbroken. And I'm deeply heartbroken if all of this is true. You know what I'm saying? But it's not no surprise when it comes to the people in power, you know what I mean, getting richer and the poorer getting poorer. That's been going on for centuries, decades, hundreds and hundreds of years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, I'm grown enough. I've been through enough to know who's the motherfuckers in charge and who the people that's not. You know what I'm saying? So listen to what's being said. Don't just be mad if a motherfucker ain't saying something that's speaking into what you're in agreements with. He's saying that it's allegedly secrets and things being hidden and people getting favoritism in jail and special people getting pardoned for reasons that we don't know.
Because this cover-up doesn't just expose political maneuvering. It exposes catastrophic character failure. It reveals someone treating the presidency not as sacred public responsibility, but as personal property. It demonstrates a mindset where everything's negotiable, where justice isn't an impartial arbiter, but personal protection, where investigations aren't truth-seeking missions, but political threats to neutralize, where pardons among the presidency's most solemn powers, tools of mercy, become bargaining pieces traded for silence. Consider what kind of person operates this way. The moral void required. That 2003 birthday note wasn't crude humor. It was a declaration. We share certain things, Jeffrey. May every day hold another wonderful secret. That's the vocabulary of a closed, corrupt universe.
Wow.
A universe without public interest, only private deals. Where accountability applies to ordinary people. Where laws are suggestions and human beings, in Epstein's case, vulnerable young girls are disposable objects.
Wow. Vulnerable young girls are disposable objects, man. That is horrible. Smash that like button, guys. Like I said, and if you want to support my channel, my PayPal, Jamil Peterson 910. You know what I'm saying? We got to look out for each other. And even if, like Trump just did a speech earlier, I'm going to react to that during survival. I'm going to react to what he's saying. I was listening to Trump talk earlier, and he was saying, look, all of these aliens need to get out of the country. They're all gangsters. They're all drug dealers. They're all criminals. You know what I mean? And then I heard a bunch of people saying, we're not criminals. So, but I will let Donald talk too. It's three sides to a story. You know what I'm saying? Your side, my side, and the truth during survival.
To even approach that world, witness that lifestyle, board that plane, visit that island without revulsion to instead admire it, participate in it, reveals spiritual corruption. Someone viewing reality through that lens doesn't get transformed by presidential responsibility. They just gain more powerful instruments to continue what they've always done. Self-protection, self-enrichment, secret keeping, regardless of collateral damage. This is the uncomfortable truth we must confront. This transcends partisan disagreement. This isn't policy debate. This concerns fundamental unsuitability for office. It's about someone who, when tested by presidential crucible, proved so consumed by ego, so haunted by his history, he'll dismantle democratic foundations to protect himself.
Wow.
But in discussing institutions, national security, one individual's character, we've nearly lost sight of what this story actually concerns. At its foundation, this isn't about Donald Trump, not about Pam Bondi, not even Jeffrey Epstein. This is about the women and girls whose lives he demolished.
Wow.
The hundreds, possibly thousands, whose existence was destroyed by a sophisticated abuse operation.
See, and that's what I wanted y'all to focus on. Like Barack just said, it's about the victims. Y'all looking at it more, oh, this is, about Trump, da da da. No, we're talking about the victims. You know what I'm saying? These women that had these things done to them by this Epstein guy, pure survival. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all got to focus on. Tell me that that's not real. Put a one in the chat if y'all think Epstein was guilty, that he was doing all of this shit to people. Put a two in the chat if y'all think Epstein didn't do nothing.
Girls whose lives he demolished. The hundreds, possibly thousands, whose existence was destroyed by a sophisticated abuse operation. What's surfacing now isn't merely cover-up. It's the final, ultimate betrayal of every survivor. Consider the courage these women demonstrated. Imagine being abused as a child by globally powerful men, being repeatedly told you're worthless, that nobody will believe you, that they control law enforcement, judges, everything.
Wow.
Living with that trauma for decades, then finally glimpsing hope. These women had already been catastrophically failed by our justice system, that disgraceful Florida sweetheart deal that declared their suffering irrelevant. Yet they found strength to step forward again. Congressional records show nearly 50 survivors actively, bravely cooperating with New York prosecutors, sitting with FBI agents, reliving their worst experiences moment by agonizing moment, providing names. They delivered precise accounts of how this criminal network operated, its funding sources, and additional participants. They weren't just seeking personal closure, they hoped preventing future children from enduring similar horrors. They invested their trust one final time in America's promise of justice. How did this administration respond to that trust? First, they weaponized it. They transformed these women's suffering into campaign rhetoric. Went on television pledging to expose the client list, energizing their supporters, turned genuine justice seeking into political theater, used survivors as political tools. Then when that actual investigation, the one those 50 women risked everything, supporting threatened those wonderful secrets, they sabotaged it. Didn't simply end the case, demolished it, removed it from prosecutors actively pursuing leads, and handed it to Washington political appointees instructed to kill it. And then came the almost unbearable part. After terminating the investigation, the administration deployed their new FBI director, Kash Patel, to congressional testimony. When questioned about why this investigation built on 50 women's accounts was abandoned, he did the unconscionable. He repeatedly, baselessly attacked the Epstein survivors' credibility. Absorbed that. The FBI director leading Earth's premier law enforcement agency, the very agency these women just confided in, stood before the world and essentially labeled them unreliable. Suggested their detailed testimony lacked credibility. Why? To justify protecting the president through cover-up. This follows the authoritarian playbook perfectly. Exploit victims, silence them. If they persist, destroy them. Tell everyone they're untrustworthy. And now, the final betrayal. Whistleblowers report the one convicted person, the architect of all this devastation. Ghislaine Maxwell receives special privileges and prepares for commutation. The president's message is unmistakable. To abuse survivors, your testimony means nothing. You are not credible. You'll be exploited, dismissed, and publicly attacked by your own government. To Maxwell.
Wow. This is just deep, guys. As I said, man, I came across this Barack Obama speech, and you know, people saying, "Oh, this AI." Guys, I don't know. Okay, AI done took over the world. But to me, it don't matter what speech it is. Anything that somebody say out their mouth now, motherfuckers gonna say is AI, pure survival. I might as well tell y'all right now, the person that just went live, this isn't really Jamil, guys. This is the AI me, pure survival. I'm somewhere inside myself trying to fight to get out. I'm telling y'all right now, this is the AI me. This is not really me talking right now. This is AI. This is AI generated. This is an AI Christmas hat. Pure survival. Those were AI tears that came out my motherfucking eyes. They were AI tears. I didn't know they was about to come out. They're AI generated. The whole point of the matter is, guys, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's false. But I know I never even knew who the motherfucker Epstein was in my lifetime. Pure survival. I just found out about this dude last year. And all I keep hearing is, oh, this Epstein files. Oh, like this whole big deal. That you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's true or not. But all I know is it's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes during survival.